meeting of this nature in history. City Hall doesn't get the 25. But thank you for attending. So how did we get, what's this all about? Who did it? I've had a lot of questions, but sponsoring this event is a PAC, a political action committee, called Protect Your Neighborhoods. It's bipartisan. It's a small group of, I won't say a small group, we take in anybody and everybody, but we're there in Dunnellon to improve the city of Dunnellon. And we like to bring in people to learn more about Dunnellon, about the county, about the city government, the county government, things affecting the river, who's coming in to develop, et cetera, et cetera. And so we formed this PAC, a few people in our party. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Mickey Pierce, and I am the president of... All right. Recognize a few people. Former State Senator Dennis Jones is with us tonight. Former Florida State Congresswoman Karen Thurman. Right there. Councilman Tim Inskeep from Dunnellon. Thank you, Tim. Ron Bray, Chief of Police.
Hey, Ron.
I want to recognize some of the young ladies that keep things going. Mary Ann, Deb Daly, Mary Ann Armitanger, Gretchen Martin, they're the ones that make the impossible possible. Without them, things like this would never get off the floor. Also, I want to recognize Derek Jackson is here, of Bill Jackson Adventures down in St. Pete. He lives in Tampa, and he does have some property in the Dunnellon area. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. I moved here about 15 years ago, and what I've learned about this area, I moved here and thought I was the youngest person in the city of Dunnellon at the time.
And look what happened.
And yeah, look what happened, right? But we, and I'm like, what in the world am I gonna do there? I got out and started meeting people, and oh my gosh, I do a lot of sport-related events, and there is people in every walk of life here. Some of the most interesting people in the world are right here in Dunnellon. It's totally amazing. So get out and meet your neighbors. How many military veterans do we have here? Military veterans? All right, all right. Thank you for the service. I'm sure we've got teachers here, farmers, nurses, everyone. Thank you for your service. Regardless of your occupation, I want to just thank you for being here tonight. Your attendance shows me, shows everyone that you are interested in the future of Dunnellon. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you very much. And before, I'll lay a little groundwork. We're going to be out of here by 7.
All right.
All right. If things are rolling along and things are good, we might good conversation. We might go a little bit further, but not much longer. Following the speaker's words, we're going to have some question and answers. If you didn't get a card and you want to ask a question, put it on a card and I'll read the questions. And that'll help the timeline go along a little quicker. Write it down. Third one, Mr. Gissy's here tonight as our guest. So appropriate manners, if you will, directed to him. This is a time and place to learn and open conversation. Thank you. Our committee, our PAC, we like to stay educated in things, like I said, city government, county government, and that's what we got together, and Dennis and I said, you know, who can we have come talk to us? Well, how about Jim Gissy? And we did, and It started out with a small group of the pack, and we thought we might put it in the paper and see if anyone was interested. Well, apparently there is a lot of interest. I've never met Mr. Gissy before until 5 minutes ago. I heard him speak at a council meeting about 4 years ago, but that's it. So you kind of know where my thoughts are coming from. In preparation for tonight, I realized that everything I knew about Mr. Gissy was rumors. Was all rumors, so I had to buckle down and learn some facts. I'll say up front, I'm against development. I grew up in Ocala, Highway 200 between Ocala and 484 was nothing but farms with one wooden convenience store. That was it. Now I don't see a difference between 200. Life happened and I ended up in Dunnellon, and there's no way I'm leaving. I love it here mostly because of the minimal amount of change we've had. Back to Mr. Gissy. How did he end up in Dunnellon? How did most of us end up in Dunnellon? I can probably pretty much say that it wasn't because of a promo in a magazine. The village, not Dunnellon. Most of us got here because we knew. We had family here, we had a friend here, we came to visit, and we fell in love with the river, we fell in love with Dunnellon. Am I pretty much right? Probably a few other things. Jim Gissy's no different. His mom lived here, right here in Rainbow Springs. He visited her and liked what he saw in Dunnellon. He also saw opportunity. An opportunity for Jim was what he knew: resorts. Jim worked for Westgate Resorts, and what a better place to build a resort on the beautiful Rainbow River. Jim purchased Rainbow River Ranches, 135 acres on 484. Plans were made across from Swampy's and up the river, a motel, a restaurant, a very large RV park, music venue, ingress and egress for tubers and paddlers. Wow, everything that Dunnellon needed to make it on the map. That was about 4 years ago. The news of the resort spread through Dunnellon like wildfire. You were here, you must have remembered it. What else happened 4 years ago? I mentioned it right off the bat. The pack, we formed this pack. The pack joined forces with RC, Rainbow River Conservation, Florida Springs Council, and the citizens of the greater Dunnellon area. And it was amazing the pushback of that development. It's more than I've ever witnessed before. Right here in Dunnellon, a lot of pushback. So what did Mr. Gissy do? He was sitting on 135 prime acres on the Rainbow River. He said he heard the people of Dunnellon and he canceled the resort project. I personally was a little leery. But actions speak louder than words, and Jim sold all but a few acres to the state of Florida with a 90-year conservation that prevents it from ever being developed. That's a wow, and a very big wow for me, because his property is directly across the river from my property. And it's just a big wow. Currently, he's building one home. He's got one home going up on that property that he still has. One home. In 22, he purchased 1,300 acres west of Walmart. I managed to get a tour of the property, and it is beautiful. Warm Springs, I believe it's called. It is gorgeous. Where did my brain go? Development. Hundreds and hundreds of homes. But the facts are, Jim has built one home, one ranch home. I believe it's for his property manager. And when asked what he intended to do with the property, he wants a big cattle ranch.
There you
So,
go.
hey. So we're starting to see a few similar. So my current count is 2 homes on 435 acres. Let's go on. In 2024, Jim purchased 9 Island Cove, over 40 acres, which includes 2,700 linear feet on the Withlacoochee River. Beautiful property and environmentally sensitive. In 21, Jim bought 40 acres of environmentally sensitive property bordering 484 and 180, what we call Tiger Road, just east of town. Now get this, he bought it, and in the contract, the buyers could stay there until their demise. So, and they're no older, I don't think, than Jim is. So this one took me for a surprise. Developer wouldn't do that. He's never got access to the property. So when he was asked what he was going to do with it after they were gone, he said, I kind of like the green and I like the trees. I think I'll keep it that way. So, a wonderful thing. After reviewing all the data, and I had to change my thoughts on Mr. Gissy and his what he was going to do here in Dunnellon. The rumors told a tall tale. They were a lot more fun than the truth. But the facts are, Jim is buying an better environmentally sensitive property to keep the developers away, to keep the interesting. In short, he's making Dunnellon a better, more attractive place to live with minimal development. I feel like I have seen the light, and I feel much better about Dunnellon's future. Many of you know he also purchased the defunct Rainbow. In Orlando, Westgate, and the creation experiences. In 2004, he was promoted to CEO of Westgate Resorts. A couple other things that I found. In 2022, Jim donated $50,000 to the Dunnellon Little League Club. Marion County turned around and made a grant to match his $50,000. So $100,000 back there is needed. It's quite a complex back there now, but it needed it. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. And you've got the mic, and I'll turn it over to you. Thank you very much.
And then right there was 1,351, then I also bought 862 more, which was the pine forest I told you about. And then the 41 acres of 9 Island Cove, so I think that's like 2,202 acres over on that side of the river. And oh, by the way, we didn't build a house over there either. The house that we remodeled was already there. It was a beautiful farmhouse from the 1800s. So we remodeled the farmhouse from the 1800s. We didn't build a house. Actually, there was 2 on the lake, and we tore them down. So there's 2 less houses. Yeah, I don't know what the future will bring, and I'm almost scared to say this, but Bert Eagles are going to run. The people that handle the transaction for the state buying the conservation easement on the river, that was Conservation Florida. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. I'm talking to them about buying the development rights on everything over there across the street out of the 2,200 acres, except, and they really want that 9 Island Cove, except the couple hundred acres right behind the Walmart and right behind the Walmart and everything, where those little lakes are. there's, I think 300 acres is not included in it. They don't want it, and I didn't want to sell it that anyway, because that's where I planted, we got a 3-acre orchard over here, an acre garden and stuff like that. But the other 1,900 some acres, they're all, and Burke's aware of that. But we're not telling anybody until we're telling you. I mean, I might not like their offer, you know, but we've been dealing on this for over a year. Okay, so when I, you know, hurts my feelings real. Mr. Gissy, I built 12,000, I'm like, where is this stuff coming from? It's just, we're actually doing just the opposite, okay? And not that I'm a great environmentalist, but I also did this in Volusia County. I preserved 3,000 acres in Volusia County, to Volusia forever, because it was in a wetland right on 44. So I grew up in Florida. I like, you know, people are gonna keep moving to Florida just like all y'all, most of you probably did too, right? And if you don't have development, you can't have a home for you to live in. But I'm kind of like y'all. This is kind of like the way Florida was when I grew up. I'm trying to keep it the way the best I can. You know, like in that corner, 40 acres, I don't want to put no damn houses there. I love the way them horses look. And you see that beautiful fence I just put in there. In fact, I got a call from the mayor of Dunnellon. He said, he called me, is Walter Green in the room? But he's the mayor. And he called me a month or so ago to thank me for beautifying Dunnellon. Thank me. Okay,
All right. Way to go, Walter.
Those beautiful fences that you're putting up, I said, we're gonna love it, because then we're gonna do another one over there on
Rolling Hills Road.
Rolling Hills Road. That's where that, we're gonna put a nice gate. I think they look good. They're expensive, but they look good. Next question, Mickey.
What is your plan for Dunnellon Heights?
Dunnellon what?
Heights.
Well, I don't own anything. I own 3 lots in Dunnellon Heights. That's the subdivision across the street from me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see I put the fence up, right? Okay, I bought 54 of those lots. So I bought, I think, almost every one of them, but a few people didn't want to sell to me. But where you see that fence, those are my land. And then behind them, there's 3 lots that, you know, I go all the way through to the road in the back. And eventually what I wanted to do with those 3 lots is to build houses for my workers. Because what's happening, people are having a problem affording to live here now. You know, the rent skyrocketed, and also the prices doubled, you know, and so that's all I own is 3 lots, and maybe build, you know, I talked to Kevin, my ranch manager, about building some houses for my workers. But they look just like your houses, just like any other house in there, you know.
We didn't do anything with the front. I think they weren't asking them what they're doing when we get the front lots.
Oh, the front lot, they're gonna stay in woods. They're gonna stay, is that what you meant, the front lot?
It's not
Oh,
my
yeah.
question, but.
Well, there's a fence across, so if you're talking about what am I gonna do on 484? Nothing. Okay, I bought all that land to keep them trees there, because when you're on my property across the street, I didn't wanna look at buildings or anything there. The whole reason I come here is to get away from that. So I told the realtor, buy every damn lot there you can get, because that's when I pull out of my property, I don't wanna look at trees, not buildings. So, if you want to know what's supposed to be over there, nothing. You couldn't pay me enough for that. I mean, it's the truth. The good thing about, hey, look, I grew up poor, and I know I'm rich now. And what I realize is a lot of people don't like rich people. But what the hell's wrong? Stay poor. I mean, I work my butt off. I save money.
Amen.
I pay a lot of taxes. I contribute, you know, I pay more. I tell you what, all my bankers say we don't have a client that ever pays the taxes you do. So I pay lots of taxes, and I contribute to society, you know. But I grew up one of 7 children. My dad was a forester. He didn't make $10,000 a year till 1970. And how do I know that? Because 1969, we went floating down the Itchitucky River, and that's the reason I'm up here now, because I never seen water like that, and I never experienced floating down on the inner tube like that. And I jumped in the truck, from Daddy's truck, whenever we were done, and I saw a telephone pole there, and had a little sign. The man wrote it with his own hand. It wasn't a professional sign. It said, Itchitucky Spring Locks, $10,000. I said, Daddy, people can live on a river like that? And he said, well, not people like us. He said, that's for rich people. He said, I make $10,000, and I don't make $10,000 in a year. And I said, well, Daddy, I'm gonna get rich, because one day I'm gonna be the property owner of the Spring River. So this was nothing, Gissy Springs was nothing but something I visualized when I was 13 years old. And I worked hard, saved my money, and looked for it, and I finally got it. And that's how I'm here, okay? And I actually bought that in '04, we sold it in '05, I kept in contact with the seller, and then I came back in 2006, on December 28th, is when I bought 108 acres over on the other side, past the high school, right next to the state campground. And that's got 15 springs on it. You can Google Gissy Springs and you can see it. We've done a great job of preserving that too, by the way. In fact, I've got a letter from the conservation lady that helped me get the permits to clean it. And she said, oh, me and my fiance, this was a year after I hired her. I think, well, the state made me hire her, because I had to get all these permits and everything. And she said, oh, my fiance and I, we kayaked up your river, and it made me up the spring and everything like that. I mean, I've done my share. Let's put it that way. When somebody else matches me, then I'll go in and do a little more.
There you go.
A lot of people
Thanks.
talk, but they don't want anybody to actually do nothing, so. Next question, sir.
Some of these, I've got to figure out some of the words in them. This is, I don't know if this is your purview or not. Can we mow a path to the golf cart path to clubhouse? Can we mow a path to golf cart clubhouse? Is
Well,
that under your?
I don't mind, I don't know anything. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not trying to use this as an excuse, but I have a partner here that I'm 80%, he's 20%, but he manages it, because I got so many other things I manage. So I don't know about golf carts or paths or nothing like that. I really can't answer that, but I can give the answer for you. I'd have to ask somebody else that question, to be honest with you. But I don't think that sounds like it doesn't sound, that sounds like a request I think we could probably fill, but can maybe whoever asked it, maybe come back to me afterwards.
Yeah, it was just from the house in Fox Street, just so I could get to the golf cart.
Can you tell me after the meeting and come see me, and then I'll look into it for you, ma'am? Yes, sir.
Well, I'm missing a word here, and so,
I don't feel bad. I have the same problem.
thank you.
And I write like Jim,
Yeah.
I wrote, you never remind me.
You spent a lot of money to restore Rainbow Springs, still getting rent, but proposed is not maintained. It's not proposed. Something is not maintained. Property is not maintained. Why do we trust you for future development?
Well, I'm not doing future development, so they don't need to trust me. And I'll be honest with you, I'd love if you'd buy it from me, because I lose money every damn year up here. And, so how many people were in their room out there in the church 5 years ago when I had this cock bring idea about doing it, all right? So I can go get that recorded, and everything I said came true. But let me say this, I'm a funny guy. And things hit me at certain times, and I'll tell you how the whole thing came about buying this, and I wish I hadn't bought it. And I'd love the homeowners to buy it, because like I said, I lose 40 grand a year. So I don't want this thing, okay? But I did it for my mother and her friends, and I'll tell you what it was. Art, used to be you were the head of the homeowners back there. Is that how I met you, or president or something, a POA or something like that? And I just remember them. There's no place for an office, because the office was down on the river. I had to walk up those stairs.
Second
People
floor.
were having trouble, and it wasn't a big office and everything, and they didn't there for like arts and crafts or game rooms, those kind of things. And I was sitting over there. I'll just tell you how it happened. I was sitting over on the front porch of that real estate office right there on 41, which I owned after we remodeled. I remember leaning there looking across the street, and the weeds were 6 feet high, okay? And I remember thinking, this is ridiculous. And I knew the man, I didn't know him, but I met the man that bought this place. He was from Boston, I can't remember his name. And so he wanted to sell it. I knew he wanted to sell it and move away. It had been closed for like 4 years. I guess this is not working, right? Did I do something?
Jimmy, just back up.
Back
Get
up.
away from those speakers. Like,
Okay.
stand
I
up
can
on-
speak louder. I don't need it if you want me to.
Step on the big stage,
Huh?
and then he can bring your volume back up. There you go. That should do it.
Hello?
Yep, you're back.
Like I said, if you want me to, I can turn it off and just raise my own volume. But, let's see what was, oh, so I was looking at them weeds across and I thought, you know, this is ridiculous. I said, and by the way, the houses were very cheap because nobody wanted to buy in here. And the reason why they didn't want to buy, because you don't want to buy and look at 6 foot high weeds or driving around. This was all closed. They had a chain out front with locks on it, right up here in the driveway. It just, nobody was going to buy a house in here. They didn't really know, well, you was know, you, both of you lived here. And so this is the idea that hit me. And then I went to my mother's and I called Bert. And this idea, I said, wait a minute. If I buy the golf course and the clubhouse, what if I contacted the homeowners and rented them the space on the first floor for, you know, what they needed? And then I would have enough money to mow the deal was to mow the golf course 6 times a year. I think 6 times a year. Bert would have a better memory of me. And then that was the deal. And so I called Bert that day, okay? And I said, Bert, I got an idea. I might have a way that I could buy this if I could rent it to the homeowners that would make the payments, you know? But I didn't know that I was going to end up with over $3 million in it. But when you start, we put all brand new air conditioners. When you start building anything, you think it's $1, it's $2, okay? Because everything just was way over budget. But the rent's not enough to pay it. So I just eat the cost. But my mother was so happy because she thought, oh, you know, everybody's going to have a clubhouse and it'll be cleaned up. And I told everybody, I don't know what it was back then, but I think it was like $100 or something for the rent that each person's homeowners would go up to cover it. And I just said in 10 years, you're going to pay $1,000. But I'll bet your house doubles in value in 10 years. Okay, I bet it goes from 200 to 400. So if you pay $1,000 in 10 years, but your house goes up 200 grand, that's a pretty good deal to me. And you ain't got to look at 6 foot high weeds and all that stuff. And so I said, I'll do it. So we bought it, and then I knew I couldn't do the work. So Jeff Getz was a friend of mine in Orlando, and he had just retired. I said, hey, Jeff, you have any interest in going to Dunnellon? I said, if you oversee the job, I said, we could do this and help the community. But there's never was to make any money. It was to count, you know, I just wanted it to pay the bills. But it's not enough to pay the bills, so it is what it is. But, so I don't know about what's not being taken care of, but I can find out, and I'll talk to Jeff and try to make sure it gets done. Hello, y'all can hear it work again. All right, so next question, sir.
It says, thank you for all you have done, much appreciated, we support you. The only question, do you want to talk about the land behind the woodlines? Woodlands? Okay.
Woodlands.
I don't know, do I own
It's
land behind the
Fenco.
woodlands?
No, sir.
What is it?
Behind the Walmart, you already spoke on it, it's behind the Walmart.
Oh, you mean the Walmart. The Woodlands is out on 40, ain't it?
We're on the south side.
Which
We're on
part,
this.
Kevin?
We're on the south side of the Woodlands. Fenton owns the west side of it.
Cattle
I thought
ranch.
The Woodlands was on 40. Is
No.
Woodlands over here?
No.
Oh, I don't own the property.
Blood, they're talking
I don't
about
own
what
that
we call
property.
the
There was,
foundation.
6,004, there was a farm there, a ranch, whatever it was called, and it was called Cool Springs Ranch. And you know, there's an old abandoned railroad track, right? So I kept everything south of the railroad track, which was 1,351 acres, and another gentleman named Jim Fenton, who's from Floral City, he bought 5,300,
400.
I guess. Yeah, 5,300. So I don't own that land, but I already know he is a cattle rancher, and I'm not a cattle rancher. Okay, Kevin, he like this his cows, not mine. But I like to eat one every now and then. But I ain't raised on it. I still think a hamburger is the best damn thing in the world behind Sonny's barbecue. But anyway, go ahead. Next question.
What is your plan for development of the Little Coochie property? And I guess they're talking,
Well,
okay.
I wanted to keep it woods.
And Tiger I guess that's,
High School Road.
one
Oh,
of
comments? Oh.
Yes.
Nothing, it's gonna stay a horse farm, and as long as I'm alive, that's gonna stay a horse farm. Now, I didn't sell the development rights on the 40 acres on the corner, only the ranch, you know, down where the river is, across from Swampy, and all that. But, no, it's gonna be a beautiful horse farm. You wanna know the truth? I wanna buy everything on the other side of the street too. You know why? Just to keep it that damn way, because it's so pretty. That road from 180th all the way down, they call it High School Road, that would move me. And I came up here last Friday night to go to the football game, because believe it or not, they were playing Bradford County Tornadoes, which starts the county seat. I mean, cool. I actually videoed. I was sitting in the bleachers and the sun was just going down. I said, where the hell could you be watching a high school football game and seeing all that undeveloped land? Maybe in Kansas or something, or maybe parts of Texas, but surely not in Florida. So, no, I don't have any, you'll never see anything there as long as I'm alive.
And as you mentioned, that east side of 180th, there's big plans in process for multiple homes going in there. So if you're concerned about it, read up on it, go talk to city council.
And it's not
Let them
us.
know your thoughts.
Well, he's referring
It's
to,
not us.
there's a,
No, it's not. It's not
176
him.
Please
acres
mention
across
that.
the street. No, it's not me.
It's not him, it's a developer, and they're
It's
on their
Lennar,
own.
it's actually Lennar. Yeah.
Oh.
it's actually Lennar. Don't worry, I've been trying to buy it too. But,
Not
because I
Lennar.
had that deal, and shame on me, I'm the one that negotiated the price. Down, and then it's my fault, I didn't pull the trigger at the time, and then some peanut farmer came in and bought it. And they bought it for $875,000, I think they got it for sale for $6.5 million. So I missed my window there, because, you can't pay that and just leave it on cow pasture, you know, you can put that in the bank, get 300,000 or 400,000 interest without doing the thing, you know, so, yeah, stop them from getting it, then maybe I can buy it one day and just. That's not me, that's Lennar Home.
Last one, I don't know,
It's only 6:24, you can ask me.
we'll open up the mic.
You ain't gonna buy
I don't
it.
know if you have, why this is coming to you, but is there anything you can tell us about the 41 North project, right lane, right turn lane?
Well, no, I can tell you, it's all public information, and I'm sure at City Hall, they probably gave you a map, because somebody sent me a map of it. And it looked really pretty to me. So what they're doing when you come in on 484, you know how you got that little thing, it turns to the right, and then there's like a little triangle in the middle? I know that they're gonna take that out. So they're taking the triangle out. So when you pull up that red light, there'll just be two right lanes, you know, two turns that go right, and I guess two that goes left.
Yeah, this was,
I think it's a big improvement to the intersection.
yeah, that'll be a bit, this was more of the 41, where that,
Down here,
right
north.
in front of the Marathon gas station, down on the north side of town.
Yeah, but I don't know anything, I don't know anything going on out there, I can't help you there.
Okay, we got a couple minutes. Any questions? We don't have a mic open. Speak up, please. Yes, sir. Navy.
Yes.
Invite everybody downstairs to cheers.
Oh,
Invite everybody down to cheers.
Cheers, do you know Cheers? Oh, yeah, they got some damn good food down there, Cheers.
Oh, that was awesome.
Cocktail, relax, a glass of wine, a nice meal. Hey, let me tell you something. If you don't do enough business with Cheers, he don't make a living, he ain't gonna keep doing it. So if you like a restaurant here, and by the way, if that one closes, ain't no more coming in, okay? Because it's difficult, you know, and they're the best restaurant by far. And, so give Cheers all the business you can if you like it.
Yes.
Yeah. Dennis, please.
I just like to know, it didn't come up tonight, you know, Rainbow River Conservation, 65-year organization, has worked and worked and worked to try and improve the Rainbow River. Karen Turner, where's Karen? When Karen and I were both in the legislature, we served together. In 1986, we passed the Aquatic Reserve legislation, thinking that that protection was going to take the state of Florida and start to put millions of dollars back into Florida Springs. nothing really happened. So in 1986, we, again, in the legislature, when Karen and I were there, we passed made Florida an outstanding, Rainbow River an outstanding Florida waterway. There again, we were hoping that would encourage the legislature to start to fund the Rainbow River and fund other springs in Florida, and nothing really came of it. So here we are, 40 years later, I'd say. The legislature gives a mere $50 million a year for Florida springs, well over 1,000 springs, so the $50 million really doesn't go much. Rainbow River, just as a layman's organization, is doing what it can once a year to clean the river. They've made great improvements in doing that, but we still have problems. So when you look about the Rainbow River, the one that's done the most protection of anything, more than the legislature, more than our city, is Jim Gissy with what he's done on this river, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And let me say this, as far as across the street, I've sold the development rights on the ranch on the Rainbow River. I don't know what I'm gonna do across the street. But at one time, I get these crazy thoughts. And one of them was maybe, not today, but maybe when I retire at 75 in 6 years, when I'm up here more full-time, I'll always keep my home in Orlando too, because I have lots of businesses down there. I thought, man, maybe I'll build a rodeo up there, I don't know why I had that thought, because I got some granddaughters, and I got some ponies, well, I guess they're quarter horses now, we start with ponies, and they really like them horses, right? And then some of the workers and people that were helping my grandkids learn how to ride them, and I thought, maybe I'll help them have a job too, so, so I ain't saying I would do it, but it was just a thought of, what if I did a rodeo up there on 41, like a big rodeo, and then it could be used for big events like graduation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would ever happen, who knows, so I'm not saying what's gonna happen over there, but I have been talking, but that would be on the 300 acres in the back. It wouldn't be the piece I've been talking about, Conservation Florida.
Maybe some horseback riding trails.
Huh?
Horseback riding trails on all that property.
We'll take one more question.
I think there's a gentleman
Julie?
here, and there's one lady let's do two more.
Okay,
There's
two
one
more.
lady in that man.
Julie, what you got?
And one in the back, we'll do 3 more, if that's okay. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Julie Beck.
You want to have this where they can hear you?
Here, I can-
Why don't you hand that to the young lady that they can hear? And I'll be here afterwards, if anybody got any questions, I can talk to you.
My name is Julie Beck. I'm a local realtor here.
Oh, you're Julie Beck?
I'm Julie Beck.
Oh, I think that's about Julie Beck, right? Oh, we talked on the phone, yeah, okay.
My question is that, I'm originally from South Florida, and one of the things that we see, everybody leaves South Florida because, it's so overdeveloped. But my parents came up here a long time ago, and when you moved to Dunnellon, you moved here because it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's beautiful, and obviously as a realtor, we're gonna experience growth, it's something that's gonna happen. But the question is how can sustainable growth happen in this area? And you as somebody who has been, really kind of focusing on this conservation of these properties, you're doing a great job at that initial process. But I think with Marion County, and a person of your stature, a person of your ability, has all of the tools in your toolbox to help, the planning of this area grow better. And as it grow more sustainable, not uncontrolled, not in a manner that can really affect, we talk about plenar, and we're hearing, it's just right now, it has all the potential to be controllable, but I would just say that, your ability and the influence within the city, I think it's really important to be able to put forth a plan with the county of a sustainable plan for growth.
That's one of the reasons when the question was asked that I think Marion County should, I'm getting back here because run, that's the reason why you don't have to have 2 governments that seem to butt heads, right? You just have one that lays it out. That's kind of one of the reasons I made that comment of Marion County. But I don't, were you asking me what I'm gonna do? Because the answer is nothing.
I know you're But the fact is, as a person of your stature and power and ability, and you envision this area as a place that will be similar to what it is today through the rest of your life, correct?
Well, if you look at the land use maps, you'll see why. And because there's not really developable land. I mean, the only place that I know that you could develop houses is out on the 180th of any magnitude or on the other side of the land that I bought. And I know Fenton's not selling houses because he's an old country boy too, so he wants to just have it as a cattle ranch. So, I don't think you're gonna have that problem. Plus, you only have a few roads here, right? You only got 41 and 484 and 40. So it's not like there's gonna be any other commercial property either, because you don't have the land to put it on. I mean, so that alone will control it. And even when you go out 484 back toward 200, like when you're going that way, on the right-hand side, you'll see that Flying P Ranch. Well, the land right there on the road is privately owned, but right behind that is all government property. So if you look on the maps, and even next to mine, if you go to that, where Fenton bought 5,300 acres, and I bought, I guess, 2,200 something, there's nothing but undeveloped land all the way to the ocean. I mean, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. I'm not, yeah, or should I say Gulf of America? Whatever, yeah, just say the Gulf. So I don't think you're gonna see, because there isn't anymore, you know? I mean, where would it go? I mean, you're a real estate lady, you know what I mean? So I don't think you're gonna have a lot more growth there, are you? I guess maybe Rainbow Springs, where those lots will fill up as time goes. Is there any more lots over here?
I guess that's the second question, is the Greenberg property on the other side. Have you ever considered purchasing that property?
Oh, yeah, but his price was too high. Yeah, I've been trying to buy it for
20 years.
probably 5 years, but every time I go up to his price, he always raises it more. You know, so.
He's old.
Huh?
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'll be 69 next month, so I ain't no spring chicken myself.
We got another
But
question.
yeah, I've tried to buy his property, but I guess I can't buy it.
Hi, Jimmy, good to see you.
Hey, Nick, how you doing, Nick? He lived across the street from my mama.
That's right.
Here, give this, somebody hand that to Nick, if you don't mind. And then there was one more question over here, we're not gonna forget about you, one in the back, and then we're gonna stop. So there'll be 1, 2, 3 more questions, and call it down.
Okay, Jimmy, I noticed out on 41, there's a for sale sign on a strip of property across from the real estate office.
Okay.
And there's also a for sale sign on a strip of property that's becoming into the clubhouse. Can you give us any insight as to what's happening with that land there?
Well, I don't know, it's not my land. You mean where the real estate is on 41 across the street?
Across the street.
On the same side of the road or this side of the
The
road?
opposite side of the road from the real estate office?
Well, it has to be a residential lot because that's part of this.
Because there's a for sale sign there. I was wondering.
I know, but I'm saying that has to be a residential lot for sale because everything on this side of 41 is Rainbow Springs. Oh, the golf, yeah, but I'm trying to sell this damn place. Yeah, you talking about on our land, the golf, yeah, I wanna sell it.
So that for sale sign is for this whole place?
Huh?
That for sale sign is for the club?
Absolutely, yeah, I wanna sell it, yeah,
I thought it was
because
one-
I wanna sell this clubhouse, I wanna sell all this, I wanna sell it, I don't want this no more. Because people don't appreciate what I've done for them. And when I read things read things about $12, I say, what I need this for, because it's lies, and I don't like it, and it hurts my feelings, so yeah, I wanna sell it.
Oh, gee, we don't wanna hurt your feelings.
I know, but I don't know, but it does, so why do I wanna own something like that? So, no, I'm trying to sell it off. I think the POA should buy it, but you still get the lease. Even if I sell it, you don't have to get out of the first floor, because that lease is honored, you know? Somebody else
Build
can
on
take
the
it.
golf course? If someone were to buy it, could they build on it?
Well, somebody, no, they can't build on the golf course, because it's only a limited amount of homes you can build in here. When all this is approved, the only thing I think you could do is, we're doing 24 more lots on that one road. There's some road here that goes all the way through, and somehow we're putting 24 lots there. And the only other place I know that was already part of Rainbow Springs is, next to the Winn-Dixie up there. And that's it. So you can't be any more lots than that. So the golf course will never have homes on it. Okay, now, out on the highway on 41, what I would like to see up there, you know, is I like to see assisted living, okay? Because I think that a nice assisted living, because I think that's what the community would need, right? Like I know my mother had to go to Orlando for assisted living, but she would much rather stay here. You know? So that was a thought at one time, that I might try to build assisted living, and that way the people could stay here, right in Rainbow Springs. But, I don't really have time for it, guys. I don't wanna, I'm running two charges. I didn't know I was gonna be CEO of Westgate, and December 6th, will be 2 years, so that'd be 23. I bought a big company out of Miami, and it's called Starboard, and it has the retail stores on cruise ships, and that has 8,500 employees, and I'm the chairman of the board and the largest stockholder, so that takes a lot of my time. And then 3 months later, David Siegel asked me to be CEO of Westgate. Well, that's got 8,500 employees, and it was the largest privately owned company in Central Florida last year with $1.4 billion revenue, and Starboard will do $750 million revenue. I'm not trying to say bragging, but if you got 11,000 employees and you're doing over $2 billion, and they're two of the largest privately owned companies in Florida, I ain't got I have no time, okay? I literally work 12 to 16, 18 hours a day, and I work 7 days a week. I don't even take a day off no more, because I just don't, okay? And I don't want to. That's what I want to do. I love what I'm doing. I've never been as happy as I am right now, and I never had so much energy as I have right now. I don't want to do it. I do take time with my granddaughters.
You got another?
Okay, there was one here, and there's one back.
That guy, he's got the mic.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Mr. Gissy, I'm your next door neighbor on 9 Island Cove.
Wonderful.
I
Have
have, I have the fastest horse in Florida.
you have the what?
Fastest horse.
I'm a little hard hearing.
Oh,
Congratulations.
and I like the job.
Which house are you in, before you get in or on the other side?
I'm right behind the middle school.
Oh, right behind the middle school, okay. Nice, we're neighbors then.
I can be a gatekeeper.
Well, I tell you, you need one time, because sometimes I just found out one of my properties, not up here, down in the park, and boy, they get in them woods and they live back in them woods, you know? There was a question, I wanna get this gentleman, and I wanna get that young lady over there, and then I can answer any more after, I'll stay here.
Excuse me, you wanted this to go to
There was one,
Mr.
there was
Gissy?
a young lady back here, and there was a man here, huh?
The gentleman that just spoke wanted that to go to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is it a check in there?
Several.
I'm impressed what I've heard tonight. I heard a lot of rumors, but there's another rumor about you're to declare it, you're not to declare it. Could you clear that rumor up?
Well, that's not we are to declare, because what happens when we bought the something, I think we're to declare it until we sell the 24 lots, and I'm not sure. I don't know, because the lawyers know and the partner runs it, but I know that we're declaring it, because I know when we bought it, that came with it. Yeah, I know that. But I'm not really involved in it, but I'll get involved if necessary. There was a young lady back here, and then all the other questions I'll have to stay and answer afterwards. You're the lady, he's bringing you the microphone now.
I'm from Old Florida to Fernandina to Stark to Waycross.
Say that again?
Old Florida. I'm from Stark and Fernandina.
You're from Stark?
And Fernandina to Stark, all my family, they were pirates and they got run out.
What's your last name?
Alvarez.
Oh my God! Were you related to David Alvarez?
Yes.
You were related to David Alvarez?
Yes.
Is he still alive?
We just had a reunion down there.
Is he still alive?
I'm
Did you go to Bradford County High School?
Waycross. Then we went to Waycross.
And then you went from Stark to Waycross, and I went from Waycross to Stark.
My family was in Stark,
Okay.
not me. I was a boy.
Well, there's a lot of Alvarez's in
Yeah,
Stark, oh
and
yeah.
then Waycross. But,
Small
one
world.
really quick question. I teach free yoga and the orange room is really getting stuffed up in there. Lots of people. Wish we could use this room sometime.
I'm a little hard of hearing, I apologize. What did you say?
Wants to use this room for her yoga.
I said, I teach free yoga, and I wish that we had room, because I've got so many people in coming for yoga, old folks, all of us old.
Yoga's good for people.
We'll have room in the orange room.
Well, oh, you mean to do it in the orange room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to ask my partner that, but I don't know that, I don't know how that
But we
works.
were-
This room is for a church, and also I think the deal, you get it 4 times. I don't think you can do the yoga.
Okay. Waycross, were you there in Waycross?
I left when I was 4 years old,
Okay.
1960.
My brother lives in Okefenokee, Swamp.
All right, and then, that was the last question, was that all of
That
it?
was it.
That was it.
Okay, if anybody.
That was it.
Hey, everybody, I want to thank Mr. Gissy, and I want to thank you for coming. Thank you very much. We're gonna have to do something like this again.
Hello.